The perfect retirement plan. Perfection. Spoiler alert, there's no such thing, but you can have an excellent process. And I'm going to walk you through my process. Okay. So, no such thing as a perfect retirement plan. It can have a pretty darn good process. The problem with retirement plans is they're out of date the day you make them. You put in your expenses, you put in inflation, you put in your rates of return, you put in your longevity, time into Social Security, one-time expenses, all those things. And guess what? Things don't agree with you. Inflation goes up, rates of return go down. Things are all over the place. So the power of retirement plans are not in making the perfect plan that solves. This is what a lot of people get wrong. I get this in the comments all the time. They're looking for the perfect plan that solves, gives them 95% Monte Carlo chances of success, and they say, got it. Well, folks, it's easy to create a retirement plan that solves. All I got to do is change inflation, change longevity, change rates of return until it solves. That's an easy thing to do. The problem is life. Life happens. So the power of a retirement plan is what I call stress testing it, making it fail, and then solving it. Okay, now I don't want that to be complicated. Let me give an example. So say you put in your retirement plan, it solves, it comes up at 93% probability of success. And then inflation goes from what you thought was going to be 3% to 6%. You input that in your plan and you go from, the mid 90s down to 75% probability of success. Oh my gosh, what can I do? Okay. What levers are there? Okay. That's what we're going to talk about today. How do we get that from 75 back up to something that you like, at least 85, maybe 90. And so those levers. Okay. Why is that important? I'm going to review this at the end, but why is it important to have a good retirement plan that the levers of? That doesn't sound like proper English, but you need a good plan to be able to retire, to not keep working one more year. So you need that plan to retire, and you need that plan, and I don't hear enough people talking about this, for confidence to spend. So when the market's all over the place, inflation goes up, market goes down, housing goes up, rent goes up, all these things, you have confidence to spend money. Because if you delay spending money, you may be missing out on your young age go-go years. Okay. 1 year of, this may sound cold, but 1 year of living from 65 to 66 to 67 to 68 is not the same as 1 year of living from 96 to 97 to 98. The quality of life, the engagement you're having with family and friends, and your joy is just different. Okay. You can argue with that, but 1 year in my 60s, I don't want to trade for 1 year in my 90s. Okay. So that's the why. So how do plans fail? They fail because of longevity. Most people think of living too long, but what happens if one of you, if you're married, dies too early? May lose a pension, a percentage of a pension, may have to file tax as a single. All those change your expenses. Inflation, that's a big one nowadays, can make your plan fail. Expenses, your long-term care insurance, your health, your base spending, go-go year spending, one-time expenses, all those things can make your plan fail. And returns, investment returns. You planned on getting 8% and you get 6% over a long period of time. So what are your levers? Your levers are things like almost the same thing. Expenses, returns, timing of Social Security is a big deal here in the United States when you take it. One of the levers I like to use is a lot of people take Social Security at 62, and if you make a plan fail because of inflation, take that Social Security at 67 or 70, and the chance of success greatly changes. Other income, you could put a part-time job in there. You can buy insurance, health insurance, long-term care insurance, life insurance, not health insurance, life insurance. This comes to perhaps a good choice for somebody that's got a pension and has a 0% surviving spouse. They can buy life insurance policy if that primary spouse dies early. And then tax management. A lot of people don't even think about their taxes, but it could be your biggest expense in retirement. So having a tax plan using something like Roth conversions could be an excellent idea. I've made a lot of videos on that. So, hey, let's go into an example. I'm going to share my screen. There we go. There we go. So, hey, I'm in new retirement. This is where my tax plan is. I use this. I buy this 3 years now. 3 years I've been buying this software package. I love it. There's the first link you come to below, hit show more, hit that. 2 free weeks. If you like the way this is set up, I love it. It's the very similar software that every financial advisor uses. They make things look complicated. This is simple. There are training videos on how to use this. There's help, online help, all free training sessions. If you want one-on-one help, they do charge for that. But I think it's like $250. But absolute bargain. I love this package. Free link, free 2 weeks. Got to give that a shot. Let me know in the comments if you can recreate what I'm showing you in your spreadsheets. Let me know that. So here is a plan. I'm going to quickly review it, and I'm going to stress test it a couple different ways like I just talked about. So this plan, first thing you'll notice on this summary page is 93% probability of success. Pretty decent. Most people would be happy with that. You can connect this. I'm over here on the left-hand side, these tabs here. But let's look at their accounts. They got $1.15 million in 3 accounts, a traditional IRA, $900,000. They got a brokerage account and then a high yield savings account. And one of the things I'll highlight here is like in this IRA, $900,000, they got an optimistic rate of return of 8% and pessimistic of 5%. And then you can calculate an average of that as 7.5. That's going to be important in a second, okay? Well, I'll explain that now. So you look at that 93%. You could come up here into assumptions, and we're on average assumption now. So you put in a number for rates of return and for inflation, for general inflation, for medical inflation, and you could just toggle back and forth between average, optimistic, and pessimistic. So keep in mind, we're at 93% probability of success. But if everything goes kind of well, I'm going to hit optimistic, that jumps to 98. But this is one of the things I love about in retirement. Now let's say everything goes bad. Everything goes bad, it's down to 69%, okay? 69%. And we're going to come back to that in a second. So let's go back to average. Let's kind of get their condition. So we saw their assets. They own their home, $600,000. They don't have any debt. Income. Let's look at income. They're not working right now. But Social Security, they're planning on taking that. Let's see, what did I put in there? 67. This is a married couple. Their age is 62, a little over, maybe 62 in 4 months. But so they're planning on taking it full retirement age here at 67. $2,500 for this person. And then the spouse, again, at 67. Oh, yeah, just hover over 67. The spouse is $1,500. And then here you can put in cost of living. One of the things important on cost of living adjustment, optimistic is the lower number. You don't want high inflation. So the optimistic is the lower number. Pessimistic, if inflation is high, all the pessimistic factors kick in. This person has 1 pension. I just put that in there to model it. Joe's pension, $2,000 a month. Important to note here, I put a 50% surviving spouse in here. Let's go on to expenses. Expenses, living expenses, $5,000 a month. Go spending. You've heard me talk about that. That's the exciting times to 75, $1,500 a month. Crazy spending. I may not talk about that. That's another way of making my plan fail. Slow go spending 7,500 or 750 a month. This is from 85 or 75 to 80. So base spending plus a couple different time period spending. Got some one-time expenses in here, things that don't recur every month, every year. Remodel the kitchen, new car, replace the furnace, new car number 2. So there you go. We can take a quick look at, let's look at, I thought there was one titled income and expenses. Okay, so we can take a look at by year, all of our income and expenses. They're color coded. Here's a savings drawdown. There's the pension coming up, this little like peach colored here. You can see Social Security kicking in here in light blue. Savings drawdown. These are the big one-time expenses coming in. So pension, so required minimum distributions coming in here in green. You can see it by year. Here's all the expenses coming in. So yeah, so it's just outstanding. One of the things I love looking at is taxes. So this person, federal tax bracket. Boy, got some opportunity here for some Roth conversions, maybe paying 0 tax. They never get above 15% tax, but you may get some 10 and 0% down here in these couple of years with, you get the standard deduction until paying federal tax on it. So pretty darn cool. So let's come back up to base plan. So I think you got this couple taking Social Security, small pension, decent amount of savings, 93% probability of success. So let's just go in and say everything goes bad. We don't get good rates of return. Inflation is high. This is a bad day. So we're going to click on pessimistic, and they're at 69, and you're thinking about retiring, and you're like, man, I don't want to retire, or I don't want to spend money now. I only got a 69% probability of success. What can we do? So one of the things you can do, let's go under income. Remember this number 69, income. Let's just take Social Security, and let's see what happens when we move that to 70. I really don't know what happens. So let's move both of them to 70, which is going to increase the amount and increase the percentage of, their base will be higher. So any percentage increases in Social Security due to inflation will be higher because you got a higher number to start with. Your base is higher. So let's move this to 67. Look how easy this is. 67, boom. The spouse, let's move them to 67. Or 70, sorry. Both at 70. 70, 70. All right, 70, 70. Let's go with the overview. Went to 81. Okay? Isn't that nuts? Went to 81. If all things went bad, we went from, I think it was at 67 to 81. Nice increase. Nice increase. One of the other things you can do is let's go under spending. Now, remember, everything's gone bad here. Rates of return are low. Inflation is high. These are kind of bad times. And we just jumped that up to 81 just by moving our Social Security time. We didn't change our lifestyle at all. But let's just for fun, let's go into changing our lifestyle a little bit. 81% is what we're at. Let's change our go-go spending from 1,500 to, let's just change it to 1,000. That's all we're going to do. Change that go-go spending to 1,000. Come back over here to go-go. 95. 95. That's a great place to be. All you did was change your go-go spending, $500 less a month. You went from you went to $12,000 a year from $18,000 a year. You may not like that. It may be something you just do temporarily until the market recovers. So this is something that I would do. I'd go through this process and say, boy, the economy looks bad. Everything's looking bad. Inflation's high. I'm down to, 67% probability of success. Hey, I'm going to push out my Social Security a couple years. I'm going to drop down my go-go spending for just a little while. Not take it to 0, and I'm up to 95. And this may be something that my process, I look at this once a quarter, but maybe 2 years from now, I could put that go-go spending back in. I could put that back in. So I talked about the leverage of Social Security, leverage of expenses, the leverage of returns. The leverage of returns is another thing you can do. You can make your returns, more protected. You can buy an annuity. You could put an annuity in here. You can buy insurance. If you go down in longevity under assumptions and have one spouse die, or like let's put this back on average. I want to show that. Put that back. This person's at 99%. Let's put our expenses back up. Let's put our go-go expenses back in there because things are looking sweet. Go-go spending. We're going to make it. We're going back on plan at 1,500. So our overview, we're down to 96%. But let's say on our assumptions, oh, Joe, I got 85 in here. My spouse is 85 as well. Let's go into Joe. I don't like saying Joe, but let's say I died at 75. Let's see what this goes down to. Do I have to save that? No, it automatically saved it. Goes from 96 down to 70 just from longevity. Why is that? Here's a big one. Look at taxes, estimated taxes. This has me the next year after I die. Look at the taxes, how they jump up. It's because my spouse is filing as a single. Okay, filing as a single, and at the same time loses part of their Social Security. Will lose. So if the primary spouse dies, the other one is paying as a single, and they lose their Social Security and take on their spouses. So, man, what a hit here. How can we improve that? Well, you go in here, you may add an insurance policy. Hey, let's get $1 million insurance policy. What does that cost? Add that expense. Your expenses will come down a little bit, one person, but not as much as if one spouse dies, the expenses don't get cut in half, but they're reduced a little bit. So you can play around with that to get a Monte Carlo that you like. So in the comments, I get a lot of things like, just recently, this was 2 days ago. Somebody put in, say, hey, Joe, in this video, you said you put in inflation at 5%. In the previous video, you put in 4%. Well, I don't have any magical plan that I keep in place for the next 20 years. I got a process. I don't have a plan. I got a process. That process is getting updated information, putting it in new retirement, stress testing it, finding out where it'll fail, finding out what my levers are to success. Also, I made a video a couple back on longevity, and people said, oh, gosh, Joe, you put in your plan 85, and now you put everything in this John Hancock longevity calculator. It says 96. You're lying to us. And I'm okay. What do you put in there? Well, I put in different numbers to stress test it and make it fail. And then I use the levers that I control. Okay, life happens to you, but then there are levers I can control, and I control those, and I move those levers to give me a percent successful that I like. Okay, again, this look how great I could tell the taxes I'm paying. This is what every year by year, like by tax bracket, I could just scroll across here, and you can see on the right side of the screen the years change, and I know exactly what I'm projected to pay based on the assumptions that I have in there. This is extremely powerful. I love just the simple toggle between assumptions. So fantastic. Remember, there's no such thing as a perfect plan, but you can have an excellent process. An excellent process. That's what I think I have as a result of new retirement. Gives me confidence to retire. My goal with you is to have you retire at least 1 year earlier because of my content. Let me know in the comments if that's happened to you. And then number 2, give you confidence to spend. Confidence to spend. A lot of people just say, oh yeah, right. That's a big issue. Confidence to spend. I know how to spend. My wife knows how to spend. Wait till you retire. And wait till the market goes down 25%. you'll have a different opinion. Confidence to spend is a big deal. So let me know if this helped. I love new retirement here. Free 2 weeks. Check it out. It's $120 a year, folks. And if you're going it yourself, $120 a year versus going assets under management with a financial advisor to give you the same program, this is a freaking steal. I don't know why they're not, don't tell them this. I don't know why they're not charging $1,000 a year for the software. It'd be worth it to me. Okay. If nothing else for the, and I talked about this before, they got explorers here to, when should you take Social Security and Roth conversions, gives you recommended amounts. So just absolutely fantastic. Questions, comments? Let's Joe out.